Hello everyone, it's Jama Malmi. Welcome to another scrapbook process video. I am still working on Halloween and I'm using the Boo Crew collection again. I used this last week in a 6x8 mini album. If you missed that, stay tuned to the end because I'm going to show you those pages. But I just think these colors are so fun and they go perfectly with my photos. So here's a look at that collection. It is still available if you still have Halloween photos to scrapbook. And these little self-adhesive sequins are my favorite part of the collection. They're little ghosts that come in the colors that match the collection. So let's get this out of the way, and then I want to show you this fun hand stitching pattern I'm going to use. It's really hard to see here. I'm not sure you can even pick it up at all, but I scored a spider web into my background page, and I'm going to be using some DMC floss to hand stitch it. Now, I learned how to do this scoring technique from Chelsey in our CDT membership, and she provided the file and everything, so it made it super easy. And this is actually the very first time I have ever hand stitched. So I had no idea how long it was going to take, but Chelsey's instruction was so good that I picked it up in no time. I just had no idea how long it would take. I spent hours and hours and hours hand stitching this background. But if you're interested in learning more about our CDT membership, the membership is closed right now, but there's a link that I'll leave below that you can add yourself to the wait list. So we'll send you an email when we open again. And hint, hint, it's going to be really soon. So I just traced around where the photos are going to go and where the paper is going to go. So I've got that little 2-inch strip that's going to go at the bottom, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. But first I am going to gut my background paper. So I wanted to have about 1/4 of an inch all the way around my background sheet showing, just to kind of anchor the page. So I'm cutting in about 1 inch from the edge all the way around to take out that extra little piece because we don't want to waste that black cardstock. And then I'm going to use some Tombow glue around the edges of my background paper. I decided to use this over an adhesive, like a tape runner, because since I'm hand stitching, I didn't want my needle to be going through tape. I thought it would be easier to go through this Tombow glue because it's a little bit elasticy, and I didn't think it would be as gummy if my needle went through it. And it wasn't. It ended up working out fine because it is going to have to go through this, the edge part a little bit. And the other reason why I wanted to gut the paper is because that makes it easier to stitch through that single layer rather than that double layer. It was a little bit more tough to pierce the holes and then stitch through that double layer around the edge. It was definitely easier around in the middle sections. So I'm going to put my paper down where I know I want it, over here on the right. And this was all in Chelsey's design. You can kind of see the spiderweb background in there. I put it through my Cricut and just scored the design. And then I took my piercing tool and pierced holes through the design, like following the design. So it made it nice and easy. And so just getting everything placed where I want it on this side, and then I'm going to do the same thing and take my pencil and just sort of trace around where I want my photo to go. And then I'm going to go off and stitch, and I'm going to stitch and stitch and stitch away. So this is how it turned out. Just the white I did at a retreat, and I spent about 3 hours on just the left side, just doing the white. And then I decided, you know what, this isn't something I want to do at a retreat. This is something that I want to do when I'm sitting watching a movie, with my hubby and just vegging. And I really, really did end up enjoying it. When I was sitting at my retreat and I had, all this time away from kids and obligations to craft, I didn't want to be spending my time stitching. Even though it was kind of nice for a few hours, I stitched and chatted with my friends, and, it was fine for a little bit. But I really found enjoyment when I was doing it while doing something else. So I know a lot of you guys stitch. A lot of people that I follow on YouTube do hand stitching and enjoy it, and so I've been thinking about it and felt sort of inspired. And I'm really glad that I picked it up because I'm definitely finding enjoyment with it as well. So I know that I want these little stickers, a little sticker cluster over here. So I'm starting with my biggest stickers first. There aren't too many really big stickers on that sticker sheet, but there are some really cute ones that layer up nicely together. And it's really hard to cover up that stitching knowing how much time it took. But I do end up liking it, and I didn't want to have to completely design the whole page before I stitched. At least I put the photos down and didn't waste that time. I'm just going to place all the stickers where I like them, and I love this Boo title. I think it's fun that it's big and bold, and it's also airy, so you can see the stitching through that. And then there was this little spider. I did end up using a lot of the stickers between when I showed you the sticker sheet and now when I'm using them, because I use them on my 6x8 pages. So there was a spider on there with a little, tail for his web that I already used. So this spider didn't have a little, web hanging down, but I just made one with black cardstock. And then I pulled out this new tag set. There's lots of fun dies, tag dies in this set, and there was this fun little circle, and then there's also this little topper to reinforce the circles at the top, and I love that it's a little double circle. So I first tried it in the wild berry and decided to switch it to orange because I've already got a lot of wild berry over there on that side, and I was liking that. And then there's these little word strips that come that one of the papers was made of. It was just a whole bunch of these little word label strips that I cut apart. And so I added those, and then some other little stickers over here in my third cluster. So I've got a visual triangle with my sticker clusters. I was trying to make this wild berry arrow work because it was so cute, but it just wasn't working for me. But we'll come back to that in just a little bit. I'm going to switch out this little subtitle sticker for the pink one because I need a little more pink down here. And then we'll try out this bat in some spots. I'm liking it. I think I'm going to put it up on top here like that for now. And then I've got another few little label sheets. So this is that sheet I was telling you about, the paper that has all these little labels that are perfect to cut out. So I'm going to audition a few of those. I've already got a little bit of orange in that cluster, so I thought I would pull some orange up here because I don't have any up here yet. When I do my clusters, I try to make sure I've got some of each color that's in the layout in each cluster. So you'll see me throughout pointing to the orange. So I've got the orange in the bat, and then in that little cluster or that little word strip in the Boo cluster, and then there's a little bit of orange in the left cluster as well. And then I've got light pink in each cluster, realizing I need a little bit of light pink up near the Boo, so I've got it in that cluster. I've got the wild berry in each cluster, a little bit of orange, so we're all set, or so I think. I ended up adding a little bit of black in that bottom right cluster. So now I'm going to add these little sequin ghosts, and they are just so cute. I love them. They come in the 4 colors that are featured in this collection, and it's hard to tell what color they are kind of because they are iridescent, but they definitely do have a reflection of the orange, the white, the wild berry, and the light pink. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. I made a few adjustments off camera. So I added this black pumpkin that I'm pointing out and moved the bat down. So now I have black in each of those clusters. Let's take a closer look at everything. Here is that little tag. I tied a bow just with some leftover floss from doing the stitching. I'm just so happy with the stitching. I'm definitely going to be doing that more often. I would love to know how many of you stitch on your projects. Let me know down in the comments below. Now I'm going to show you the 6x8 layouts that I did in my last video. If you missed that video, I started a Halloween Through the Years album for my kids. So there's a page for each year pictures so they can look back on their costumes. It's a lot of fun, and I used a sketchbook that the creative design team just released that makes it super easy. So I've got that video linked right here if you missed it, and if you did see it, here's another video that you might enjoy. I listed the supplies I used in the description below, and if you were inspired by this video, be sure to give it a like. Have a great day.